and that is looking at how the trails might work together and how they deal with all of those issues, from maintenance to the sort of rural connectivity of the trails. So I'll leave that to them to continue to work on it, but the fundamental principle behind them was that the government put in about half of the funding of the construction of the trails, and then either local councils and local community groups were responsible for the ongoing maintenance of them. So I haven't seen any requests to kind of change that, and that would certainly be our preferred outcome. But they've been very successful. Yeah. The business partnership, yeah. I mean, you might want to talk to that if you want to, Martin. I'm more than happy to, but you go. Okay.
I think it's a real opportunity for more money to be created to achieve better things and to do it with greater cohesion. So we're absolutely delighted with the Prime Minister's announcement, obviously about everything that's been announced today, but in particular about this. The private sector is willing, able and knows the time's right to step up and invest in our industry's future. The government knows the same thing. Together we'll get a better end result.
Yeah.
MBIE will have control, but no, MBIE is an entity, the Ministry of Business, Innovation, Employment. We are now working with them on an absolute daily basis to make sure that our collective thinking is on the same page, and it's already apparent to us that everyone is shifting into the position of trying to work together and to make the best collective use of the resources that we have.
I mean, what is, I think, true is that prior to this point, we would have spent about $360 million on marketing over the course of the next 4 years for tourism from a government perspective, and that's really now gone to about $500 million. But we're only one part of the tourism promotion for New Zealand. The private sector's always played quite a big part, and it really depends on either individual companies or regions. So a company like Air New Zealand, for instance, does significant promotion for New Zealand, as do a lot of the airlines. But it's equally true that you'll get, for instance, regions like Wellington or Queenstown, the likes, Auckland, undertaking significant promotion themselves. So the aim here is to keep those two parts connected together. I mean, in the end, if the government just wanders off on its own and is disconnected from the private sector, you can potentially be spending money in the wrong places. And equally, if the private sector spends money in a different direction from the government, then we're not getting the biggest bang for the buck. But the sectors work very closely together. If you think about Martin's organisation, he meets with me very regularly, meets with Kevin Bowler very regularly, and so there's quite a close meeting of the minds there. And I'm confident as we go out, spend that money, we'll make sure that there's agreement and it's well spent. Okay, well, thanks very much. We'll see you on Wednesday when we're at Trends.